And now, marine weather around Alaska.
Hello, I'm National Weather Service Meteorologist Peter Chan with your Alaska Marine Weather Outlook on this Saturday, May 17th, 2025. And starting with the state of the ice has really melted off rapidly across the central northern areas of the Bering Sea, including around St. Lawrence Island. We see some opening waters now in Norton Sound as well. And this will only continue as we progress through the end of the month, even though temperatures have been a bit cooler than normal. Still, this rapid melting will continue to proceed. And as we watch, there are no significantly deep low pressure systems, not even like a couple of weeks ago. But there is one low going to come up out of the North Pacific toward Haida Gwaii. That'll spread some more rain and a little breezier conditions to the southern panhandle as we get into Sunday night and Monday. In the meantime, we still have some lingering showers along areas of the Gulf Coast. Low cloud stratus still along areas of the west coast, St. Lawrence Island, St. Matthew down toward the Pribilofs, and a weak low pressure and trough out here toward the central western Aleutians. As we get into Sunday afternoon, that low continues to progress northeastward. As far as a couple of widely scattered light showers in the panhandle, scattering of showers, isolated thunder, northwest Canada into the interior, and then these couple of lows, southwest Bering and south of the central Aleutians. By Monday afternoon, we still have a trough of low pressure southern portion of the mainland into northwest Canada. Focus for some scattered showers in the afternoon, early evening, along with perhaps a rumble of thunder in a few spots. The low coming toward Haida Gwaii weekends, but it could bring a little steadier rain to Prince of Wales Island, southern parts of the Panhandle as we go through the day on Monday. Further west, there is a low approaching the far western Aleutians on the North Pacific side, and we don't at this point anticipate that become a major system, though it'll be a bit breezier along that in time. Now, winds across the Panhandle Sunday, inner channels, southeast winds 10 to 15 knots, waves generally just a couple of feet. Strongest winds for the outer coast will be south of Sitka. Look for south-southeast winds 25 knots off of Craig. As we go up along the coast, generally southeast winds 15 to 20 knots, waves 5-6 feet tops. And Monday, we have north winds, Lynn Canal, 10 knots, waves a couple of feet, but southeast winds 10 to 20 knots from Stevens Passage down into Dixon Entrance, highest waves down there toward off of Metlakatla as far as maybe 5-6 feet. Winds will be southeast to east, south of Sitka to 20 knots, 8-9 foot waves, but those winds turn west-northwesterly around 10 knots, and waves generally running 6 feet. Now, winds Sunday for Prince William Sound outside of Hinchinbrook Entrance, easterly winds 20 knots, waves 3 feet within Prince William Sound, maybe 5-6 feet between Hinchinbrook Entrance and Kayak Island. Cook Inlet, variable winds, lower Cook Inlet, Kamishak Bay toward Homer, waves 2-3 feet. As we go up the coast there along the inlet, we're expecting northeast winds 10 knots with waves 2-3 feet. And then on Monday, winds will be southwest 10 knots within Prince William Sound, waves a couple of feet. West-southwest winds 15 knots outside of Hinchinbrook Entrance, waves 5 to 6 feet. Southerly winds generally north of Anchor Point up to the upper portion of Cook Inlet at 15 knots with waves 3 to 4 feet. And west winds out of Kamishak Bay and also off of the northeast end of Kodiak Island at 20 knots with 5-foot waves. For Sunday, Kodiak Island, Shelikof Strait to east of Chiknik will have north winds 15 to 20 knots. Otherwise, variable winds along the peninsula at just 10 knots, so not much in the way of any wind or wave action. On Monday, a little bit of a trough. Southwest winds 20 knots in the vicinity of Kodiak Island. Winds become more west-northwest out through the northern half of the Alaska Peninsula and Bristol Bay, and then becoming variable, light and variable out down toward the south end there, trailing out at Cold Bay and False Pass. Light variable winds across the eastern and central Aleutians on Sunday. Those winds try to become southeasterly between Adak and Kiska at maybe 15 knots. And then on Monday, we'll find winds pick up a bit out toward the west. The eastern Aleutians look for west-southwest winds 15 to 20 knots from Atka through Adak and then westward all the way to Kiska and Shemya. We're looking at southwest winds generally around 30 knots as we do have that low out there approaching the far western Aleutians with this trough extending off toward the southeast, and that's what's causing those increase there in those southwest winds. Sunday winds will be variable, 10 knots within Bristol Bay, Variable winds 10 knots, the Pribilovs up to St. Matthew, and waves just a few feet at best. For Kuskokwim Bay and along the Yukon coast and into Norton Sound, northwest winds at 15 knots with waves 2 to 3 feet in open water. And then on Monday, variable winds 10 knots around St. George and St. Paul, waves few feet. West winds 20 knots there in Bristol Bay, northwest winds 15 knots within Kuskokwim Bay, and then up along the lower Yukon coast into Norton Sound, look for northwest winds at 10 to 15 knots with waves generally 2 to maybe 3 feet where there is open water along the west and southwest coast. Strongest winds Sunday will be through the lower Bering Sea and Bering Strait. North winds to 25 knots. Still a fair amount of ice in place in the Chukchi Sea, but where there are openings in the ice south of the Bering Strait, waves could be 4 or 5 feet. As we go up along the coast, Wainwright, Utqiagvik, north winds becoming northwest to west, Prudhoe Bay to Kaktovik, only around 10 knots. But still a lot of ice in place there. And then along the Beaufort Sea coast, look for generally northwest to west winds 5 to 10 knots. As we come on down along the Chukchi Sea coast, winds 15 to 20 knots, lower Chukchi Sea through the Bering Strait all the way to the north side of St. Lawrence Island. And where there is some open water there, south of the Bering Strait, we could be looking at some wave action of 2 to 4 feet on Monday.